So this is the iPhone 6s. In 2023, this phone is almost 8 years old. But how has it held up? Is this phone still usable in 2023? Well, let's find out. Just like any of my other review videos, I'll list the specs of the phone, give my opinion, and then it's up for y'all to decide what you think based on the specs of the phone and what you would call usable. So let's just go ahead and get right into this. First thing that I'm going to focus on is the camera of the iPhone 6s. The iPhone 6s features a 12 megapixel main camera and a 5 megapixel front-facing camera. The 12 megapixel main camera can take HDR photos and has a built-in True Tone flash on the back. The 12 megapixel main camera can record 4K video up to 30 frames per second in slow motion at 1080p at 120 FPS or 720p at 240 FPS. Now, compared to today's standards, that's not as good as what you'd get, for example, on the latest iPhones, such as what I'm recording on, which can go up to 4K at 60 frames per second and 1080p at 240 FPS for slow motion. But is this camera still usable? Absolutely. With the ability to take HDR photos, the camera can still take incredible looking photos even for today's standards. I wish I had some example photos to show, but for this phone, I don't. Now, the camera does not feature optical image stabilization like the iPhone 7, its predecessor, so recording video will be slightly more shaky. Other than that, the iPhone 6s camera still holds up pretty well to today's standards, and its pictures could definitely still be edited to be Instagram worthy. Now let's move on to the display of the iPhone 6s. The iPhone 6s comes equipped with a 4.7-inch IPS LCD display with a resolution of 1334 by 750, and as you can tell, still looks extremely crisp to this day. Now, with the iPhone 6s being older than the iPhone X, you still have that home button, and not the haptic one, the clicky one. Gotta love that click. The iPhone 6s was the first iPhone to feature 3D touch, which is different from today's haptic touch, where all you need to do is hold instead of force press. On the iPhone 6s with iOS 13 or later, you can either use haptic touch or 3D touch. Haptic touch, 3D touch. Now, the iPhone 6s display gets pretty bright, and you shouldn't have any trouble seeing it out in daylight. Now, it's not as bright as the iPhone 14 Pro's 2000 nits max brightness, but with a minimal struggle, you'll likely still be able to see your phone screen out in the summer sunlight. Now, the color of the bezels around the display on your iPhone 6s will vary depending on the color you chose. The space gray model has black bezels, and every other color comes with white bezels. Speaking of colors, let's move on to the color options for the iPhone 6s. The iPhone 6s comes in 4 great color options. 1, this deep space gray. 2, this luscious rose gold color. 3, a nice rich gold color. And 4, a basic silver color. This is an iPhone 6, but they're the same color. And for the people that know about the iPhone SE, it comes in the same colors as the iPhone 6s. Now, since we're focused on the body of the phone, let's move to durability. The iPhone 6s is made out of 7000 series aluminum, stronger than the 6000 series used on the iPhone 6, which was notorious for bending. Now, just because this aluminum is stronger doesn't mean it's as strong as stainless steel, for example, and will definitely still scuff up on the edges and back where you scratch the phone, especially on that Apple logo. The bottom of this iPhone 6s is a better example. See all those little dings? That was likely just from one drop. Now, the screen of the iPhone 6s is also susceptible to cracks and scratches. As you could tell, I'm not sure how many times this one was dropped, as this is how I received it. But if you are looking to get an iPhone 6s, I would definitely recommend getting a case and screen protector. Now let's move on to the speed of the phone. The iPhone 6s features Apple's A9 processor, which, unlike the newest A16 Bionic chip, for example, in the iPhone 14 Pro that I'm recording on, it doesn't have stuff like dedicated GPU cores and the neural engine, but it is definitely still fast enough to handle your everyday tasks. The iPhone 6s has software support for iOS versions up to iOS 15, as you can tell by this iPhone 6s running iOS 15.6.1. But how does it run? It runs incredibly smoothly, much faster than you would expect from an 8-year-old phone. Speaking of speed, how's the cellular connectivity? Well, the iPhone 6s does not support 5G, but still works great on LTE networks. The iPhone 6s is still supported by all US carriers as of making this video, as it was not dropped during the big 3G shutdown. That only included the iPhone 5 and older. And one more thing that I would like to add, the iPhone 6s comes with everyone's favorite feature, the headphone jack. That's something you wouldn't see if you, for say, bought an iPhone 7 1 year newer. So this concludes my review of the iPhone 6s in 2023. So what's my opinion? I think that the iPhone 6s is definitely still usable in 2023, but I would definitely pick an iPhone 7 or 8 or SE over the iPhone 6s if you're on a low budget. But if you really want an iPhone 6s, or that's all you can afford, go for it. It's still going to be a great phone, and it's going to get security updates for the next couple of years. So let me know down in the comments below what you think of this video and what your opinion is about the iPhone 6s in 2023. Do you think it's usable? Do you think it's worth purchasing? Let me know. So that's all I have to say for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. And as always, peace out, guys.